So, we are here to talk about Buffy Season 1, Episode 5, Never Kill a Boy on the First Date. You could have skipped this episode if you were trying to skip the less than stellar episodes in the first season. This one introduces the Anointed One, someone in prophecy who's supposed to help the Master and the Order of Aurelius. The basic plot of the episode, in case you skipped it, is that Buffy decides to go on a date with Owen, a super cute boy at school that is the interest of both Buffy and Cordelia. Buffy's slayage gets in the way of this date, but Owen gives Buffy another chance, much to Cordelia's disappointment. He does seem pretty into her. Buffy's slayage gets in the way yet again, and Owen ends up in a funeral home with the gang. So there we are. And they're trying to kill this vampire that they believe is the Anointed One. Owen nearly gets himself killed by being really reckless, and Buffy realizes that she can't have a normal dating relationship, and that Owen is too reckless for her to be with. It's also worth noting that Cordelia sees Angel for the first time and expresses interest in him. Angel is also clearly jealous of Buffy's date. So some things that we learn in this episode are that the Master's group of people are called the Order of Aurelius. We learn that Cordelia thinks Angel is hot, that according to prophecy, that the Anointed One will lead Buffy to hell. We learn that Buffy has a pager, that Giles is a third-generation Watcher, and that both Xander and Angel are pretty jealous creatures. Xander is also very jealous of Owen. So, Buffy and Cordelia continue to be competitive. They sort of want what the other has. Their parallel paths are an interesting way to view the series. Would Buffy have remained like Cordelia had she not developed powers that required her to confront the realities of the world? I think that's something interesting to think about. Would Buffy be who she is without her slayerness? And would she be like Cordelia if she weren't one? This episode also illustrates the difficulties that arise in beginning our dating lives, which many of us start dating in high school, I guess. Sometimes the people we find physically attractive are not good fits for our personalities. As this episode points out, Buffy has to behave in ways that are not genuine in order to interest Owen. She feigns interest in Emily Dickinson, for instance. How important is compromise, and how important is it for us to remain genuine to who we are? In this episode, Owen is also interested in stirring up trouble and getting into mischief. Sometimes we can feel pressured by our peers to do things we know are dangerous or disrespectful. But Buffy, in the end, shows good discretion and understands that Owen is not only the type of person that she can't be in a relationship with, but also someone that she can't let get her into trouble. And she can't get him into trouble either. It's important to know when actions are wrong, basically, and Buffy does, and I don't know that Owen does. Have you ever felt pressured to get into trouble with kids or do something you didn't think was right? I'm sure all of us have. Have you ever thought that someone was really cute, but then found out that their personality was not a good fit for you? Which is more important? What do you look for in a partner? Have you ever pretended to be interested in something because you thought it would make someone like you more? How did that make you feel? Did it work? Did you tell the truth? Like, sometimes is it worth doing that? Yeah, I think this episode is a good episode for season 1 anyway. I think it shows us, again, more of the developing relationships that are happening with our characters. It shows Buffy struggling yet again to find what she can and can't do, who she can be, how her Slayer's strength can be a limiting factor, and how important is it for Buffy to be Buffy, and how important is it for Buffy to be the Slayer. Our next episode is episode 6 of season 1. And it is not Angel like I thought it was. It is the Pack. I also sort of think this episode is a little bit entertaining, but if you're trying to skip it, it's not one of the essentials. It may not be worth watching. You should be able to glean what you need to from my video and some other videos that I put in the playlist, but I will put some trailers in the playlist after this video so that you can take a look at what's going to happen and see whether or not you want to invest in that. Okay.